Tony Alliance here, bringing you with a brand new video, and today we're going to be just going over what I think is kind of an interesting deck, kind of a break away from the usual discussions that we've been having. This is Scraps. I've been kind of playing this deck ever since the new Scrap monster came out, Crystron Wyvern, or not Crystron Wyvern, Scrap Wyvern, pardon me. Which is actually a really strong link monster. It's kind of really good. So let's just jump right into the deck list, and I will explain some of the cards in here and why I chose to play them specifically. Some of these cards might actually surprise you. The first card that we have here is Scrap Breaker. I think this card is a tad underrated by the community who is playing Scraps currently. For those of you who do not know what this card does, it special summons itself if your opponent controls a monster, and then you destroy a Scrap monster. It's a when effect, not an if effect, so it's technically optional, but I think overall you will have to target a Scrap monster. It can be this card. The problem with this card is that if you don't open another Scrap monster, it kind of is dead, so that's why I've opted to play only 2 of these things. It's just an easy extender in my opinion. I think it's fun. It's fun. It's a decent card overall. So next is Scrap Golem. I wish this card was level 4, but reading the effect, it's okay that it's not level 4. Once per turn, you can actually just special summon a level 4 lower Scrap monster from your graveyard to either side of the field, which is really good because it allows you to facilitate your opponent's allows you to facilitate your own effects with them, or you could just use it to link summon into some pretty interesting link monsters, as well as you can use it to synchro summon. Like if you summon Scrap Golem, you were just easy link fodder. So next is Crystron Rosenix. This card has been making waves in the competitive scene for quite some time, and for the most part, it's been kind of interesting. This card just is used to special summon tokens. You can banish this card from your graveyard to special summon 1 machine token that can't be tributed, but that doesn't really matter because you're just going to link it away anyway. Next we have 2 Scrap Orthros. This card is, I've only opted to play 2 because you play 3. This card is kind of it's kind of cloggy, but regardless, this card is very good because it allows you to special summon itself if you control another Scrap monster, and if it dies, you get to add a Scrap monster from your graveyard, so that's pretty cool. The Scrap Chimera is the important card here. I think you play 3 of this card and any variant of Scraps, even if you're not playing the Berserker build like I am. This card allows you to just facilitate easy Scrap Dragons for free, pretty much. If you have a Scrap Tuner in your graveyard, you just special summon it, and then you go on your way from that. If you do a synchro summon, this card can't be used for a synchro material other than a Scrap monster, and other Scrap monsters or other materials must be Scrap monsters. But this is mostly just a kind of a 1-card sort of engine to make Link Wyvern pretty viable. Next we have Scrap Beast. Scrap Beast, if it's a targeted in defense position at the end of the battle phase, it just dies, but that's not really why it's here. If it actually does die though, it adds a Scrap monster from your graveyard to your hand. This is another level 4 tuner that you can utilize with Scrap Chimera, so it helps you facilitate your cards. And unlike Scrap Orthros, is not as risky because you can at least normal summon this card, whereas you can't normal summon your Orthros as often. 3 Ash Blossom. This is pretty self-explanatory. Ash Blossom is really good. 1 Scrap Goblin. The first effect doesn't matter where it can be destroyed by battle, but if it's ever destroyed, it allows you to facilitate more card advantage by recycling some of your Scrap cards from your graveyard to your hand. I think it's very good. So you play it at 1. Plus, if you're playing Scrap Golem, this card makes level 8s as well. So it's because it's a tuner. So. Next is 1 Mecha Venombeast Lion. This card has obviously been making splashes with the Crystron needle fiber stuff, but he's also more than that. You can also use it in Scraps to make more link monsters, so really good for that. Next, we're playing 3 Scrapyard. This card just searches a tuner, Scrap Tuner. It's pretty good. It thins your deck out and adds a little bit of card advantage, and you can search out Orthros, or you just add Beast. Most of the time you probably don't want to add Goblin, but sometimes that might actually come up. Mind control is obviously very good. It breaks you link boards, and your opponent kind of just cries when you link summon their card away. So it's pretty good. You can play the link package. You can opt out of it if you don't want to play this because of its price tag of $50 currently. But I like this engine because Kagari is super good and allows you to facilitate a lot of your combos as quickly as possible. Next, you play Terraforming because you're playing Scrap Factory at 3, so you might as well just play as many blank cards as you can. 1 Monster Reborn and 2 Regular Legacy Succession. This deck can spit out Link 2s pretty easily, so having an extra extender for this card, or for your Link monsters, is pretty good, and it allows you to facilitate more scrap card combos, because none of these cards are actually hard ones per turns, by the way, so it's really good in that aspect, so it allows you to special some more scrap monsters. 3 Call by the Grave. With Call by the Grave going to 3, it kind of bolsters this deck just a little bit more. Yeah, you're not really that concerned with your opponent's hand traps anymore, so it's all right. So 1 Scrap Storm or 2 Scrap Storm. This card allows you to destroy a scrap monster, and then send 1 scrap monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you draw a card. So it just thins your deck out, and it thins your deck out twice, and then it facilitates a card that you can add to your hand later. So it's pretty cool. 3 Scrap Factory. I didn't go over this card because we already know what this is. But anyway, Scrap Factory. All scrap monsters gain 200 attack and defense. That doesn't matter. When a face-up scrap monsters on the field is destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, except during the damage step, you can special summon 1 scrap monster from your deck. This is really good for special summoning like Scrap Berserker for free or Scrap Golem for free, because it allows you to just have some really big stuff on the board. You can also opt for a more defensive route. If you summon Scrap Goblin, you can summon Scrap Goblin in defense position and then immediately kill it, then add a card to your hand, and then it would facilitate this card's effect later on. It's really good. It kind of recycles itself. It kind of pays for itself when you activate it, so you're really not losing that much advantage for it. Like I said, you're playing the 2 Sky Striker cards, the Sky Striker extra deck monsters. You're not playing Hayate because Hayate isn't that good in anything that's not pure Sky Strikers, so it's pretty good. 1 Cerberus. Cerberus is generically 2 good stuff. 3 Wyvern. Now I'm actually going to explain what this card does because it's actually pretty good. The materials are 2 monsters, including a scrap monster, so it doesn't have to be 2 scrap monsters. It could be 1 scrap monster plus the tuner, or plus the Mecha Phantom Beast, or the tokens that we summoned throughout the game. You can target 1 scrap monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and then destroy 1 card you control. If a face-up scrap monster is on the field is destroyed by a card effect, while this monster is on the field, you can special summon 1 scrap monster from your deck and then destroy 1 card on the field. This card is really good spot removal, as well as it allows you to thin your deck out even more, as well as it facilitates your effects easily, so I think it's very strong. It doesn't have any effect when it dies, unfortunately. I think that would have just been icing on the cake if that was the case. So you're playing 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, Borrelsword, and Borreload, because these are very easy cards to get out with Scrap Golem's effect, so it's really good. 3 Scrap Dragon, because this thing is really strong. I think it's a 1-for-1, and it pops your cards, and then if it dies, you special summon you target a non-synchro scrap monster, then special summon it. So it's pretty good. So 1 Twin Scrap Dragon. This is actually the expensive card. Believe it or not. Atomic Dragon is not as expensive, probably because you won't be summoning it that often, but I play 1 just because it's not bad. Once per turn, you can select 1 card you control and 2 cards your opponent controls. Destroy the 1 card you control and return the 2 cards from your opponent controls to the hand. When this card is destroyed by battle, destroyed by your opponent's card effect, either by battle or card effect, you can select 1 non-synchro scrap monster in your graveyard and then special summon it. So basically, it allows you to just go on and on with your combos, and this card floats into other scrap monsters, so it's pretty good. Less viable than this card because it's a little bit harder to make, but you know, it's pretty good. And next we have Atomic Scrap Dragon, the card that you're probably not going to be making must, but I'm going to read it anyway. You can target once per turn. You can select one card you control and up to 3 cards your opponent controls. Destroy the selected card and return the opponent's cards to the deck. When this card is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, you can special summon 1 non-synchro scrap monster from your graveyard. And so it's really strong. I think it's like I said, you won't be summoning it that often because the materials are kind of constraining, but you can. The thing is you can actually make this. So it's just going to be really it's just going to be the thing that is an open option to you. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave a comment in the comment section below. I will have the deck list down below if you kind of want to tinker with it. So if you want to share your experiences with the deck as a general, or in general, please let me know. I'll see you guys in the next video. This has been Shizuku signing out.